Yeah, Zeus bringing nothing but heat, thunder in the chest. Waking up daily, putting in the work, no rest. This for the real one, scrolling through the mess. Straight talk, no cap. Let's address. Every morning I wake, phone in my hand, scrolling through the lies, Trump and the Klan. Republicans violent, same script on repeat. I call out the cap, expose it in the street. They yell TDS, but it's them on that cult. Trump devotion syndrome, they deep in the vault. Jan 6, they duck when I press on the facts. Boogaloo, oath keepers, proud boys getting stacks. Slush fund money for the supremacist crew. Obama rent free, he's still living in you. Peddling straight cap, misinformation daily. It's coming back around, watch the downfall, baby. I'm destroying these Trump supporters daily. Zeus dropping thunder, they folding like babies. MAGA's worst nightmare, that's me on the low. God of the sky, sending straight to the smoke. They play me on Fox, MSNBC, CNN. I'm the one waking the world up again. Battle for the soul, this country on the line. Lake of fire waiting, no cap, it's my ice out here wildin', violating rights. Trump dropping bombs on Iran late nights. Stealing that oil from Venezuela, no shame. Putting on the soil, red carpet, what a game. Soldiers on their knees, disgrace on display. Epstein files locked, y'all still look the other way. He said terrific guy. We all heard the quote, Christian nationalist blind. That's the sickest joke. Blowing up schools, innocent girls in the dirt. These clowns bugging, putting evil to work. I'm doing this cause the country needs saving. The people, the world, this ain't just entertaining. Waking up every day feeling the weight, but I carry that thunder, I don't hesitate. They call it hate, I call it real talk. Somebody gotta say it, somebody gotta walk. Through the fire, through the lies, through the smoke, Zeus in the sky. This the path that I chose. I'm destroying these Trump supporters daily. Zeus dropping thunder, they folding like babies. MAGA's worst nightmare, that's me on the low. God of the sky, send me straight to the smoke. They play me on Fox, MSNBC, CNN. I'm the one waking the world up again. Battle for the soul, this country on the line. Lick the fire waiting, no cap, it's mine. Straight to the lake, no cap, thunder don't miss. MAGA's worst nightmare.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show started. Welcome. Hope you all had a great 24 hours. Because you know what we got to do this morning. Great skate, Bama. Sapphire, lovely to see every single one of you. Taurus, welcome. Let's go.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks.
Renee, good morning.
I'll be
Link.
back. It's deja
You just
vu
click the
when
link
I'm
in the
out
bio.
here
It'll take you
class.
everywhere.
It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass.
Cars in the
Rick.
garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so
Now,
well,
Negro,
I won't finish
let's go.
last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it.
This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous.
The algorithm turned me to a maniac.
Yeah, WVIP.
My Zodiac.
I got all these numbers
on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. And if they
That's
ask my
true.
age, that mean they like
Let's
me.
go.
They don't put me pause,
Keep it
they
clean.
bless me. I say it with my chest 'cause
Welcome.
I mean it.
Let's go.
Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited.
Let's go, ladies and
Call me
gentlemen.
Master with a new whip.
Ow.
I'ma take
Okay,
off
here it
in a
goes.
spaceship.
I'll tell you what.
What
I
you'll
haven't
tell
gone to
me.
Zeus's live in a couple of days.
Yes.
Shit was radical.
Very
It
rare.
Oh.
was
Yours-
horrible.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way
Really?
off the rails.
Oh,
It's like deja vu.
me?
It's like deja vu.
You haven't seen the
It's
country
like
lately?
deja vu.
They never have anything nice to say about me. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're back in the Thunderdome. Here to keep carrying our crosses, so to speak, to help get this country back on track and destroy the MAGA demons. W's in the chat for Rick. W's in the chat for Great Skate. Yeah. And who better to help lead the charge than yours truly, myself, Zeus, a.k.a. the Rizzler, or as some like to say, Triple H. Now, let's go ahead and get those H's straightened out. Why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. It really is, right? The first H is because I am honest. Yeah, I'm the most honest person on social media. I'm so honest. MAGA, they fear Zeus now. Now they don't even want to come talk to me. And I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I said, you know what? That's actually a good sign when they realize, because the devil fears truth. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do anything when they see the truth. They'll go, "Oh, please, there's a story in the Bible. They said, just send us into the pigs, you know," and then the pigs jumped off the cliff. So that's what we're doing here. We're so honest with these people. We make the demon confess, yes, I'm inside of this person. Please don't do a number on me, you know, because I used to do the Lake of Fire, and then TikTok, you know, they called me to the back room. You got to calm down on it. I said, but think about it. I'm saving the world. And I got all these, I think I've got about 1 million demons I've sent straight to hell on this show. They should really retire my jersey, so to speak, but they said, calm it down. And so I use it here and there. But yeah, I'm so honest. The demons fear me. And not just me, they fear all of you in the audience. By the way, W's in the chat for all of you. Yeah, because we're at a point in American history now where it's like enough of the foolishness. Enough of the foolishness. All right, so that's the first H. The second H is because I'm humble. Yeah, I'm the most humble person on social media. Get that? You couldn't. I mean, what better package deal could you ask for, right? Somebody who's honest and humble. I'm like, wow. It's like a birthday present almost. Like it's like Christmas in a way too, right? And you see all that, you're like, well, if he's honest and then he's humble and he's the most in those categories, you're like, well, what else could be next, right? Because what could be better than that? That's a good package deal, right? I could sell that, just the honest and the humble part. And I said, well, there's something else that I am. And they go, well, what is that? And I said, well, the last H is because I am and will always remain, you guessed it, the most handsome. Xena. Hella handsome. Uh-oh, that's that Bay Area lingo right there, Renee. Watch out. Yeah, I'm not on everyone's FYP for some strange reason. Yeah, you always have to double check that your notifications and stuff like that work. Isn't that? It doesn't happen with just me. It happens to other people that I follow. I'm like, I didn't know you're online, but that's a good reminder. Yes, please make sure you are following me. If you're not, please make sure those notifications are on if you're not, or if they're not, all right, because you don't want to miss out, honestly, on just this is like an adrenaline rush, right? When this show comes on, it's like an adrenaline rush, because I promise you, every time, I think I got my targets that I'm supposed to hit every show. Right, Heaven? Right, Heaven. W's in the chat for my brother Heaven, who's been rocking. Hey, brother Val right there. Nice to see you, bro. We're verified too. And Dame, you said Dame tries to sabotage it. Yeah, you go into Dame's lies. He says they're trying to mimic him. No, they're not. They're not trying to mimic you, dog. They're not trying to mimic you. They're trying to mimic Big Zeus. Come on. Come on. Yeah, but you know, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. So, you know, W's in the chat for Cali Girl. No one can do it like Zeus. Because as much as they want to try to deny the sauce is real, they have to live with the facts that, hey, this man right here be cooking up something over here, and I've never seen it like this. As a matter of fact, it tastes real good. Right? So let's go ahead and get today's show off the ground and get started. I must go ahead and give a PSA announcement. I always give this PSA announcement. If you're a Trump supporter, you need to be obedient in the kingdom. And my moderators, they will make sure you're obedient in the kingdom. And you say, well, Zeus, why are you singling us out? You know, they call it reverse discrimination, and you want to go ahead and get the DOJ to try to make it look like it's the black people that are being racist. No, that doesn't work over here. I'll tell you what you got to do on my show. If you're a Trump supporter, the only option is to get in the box and give us what we want, which is a good laugh. And you say, well, what is a good laugh? Just listening to how you think and process information. It's at this point because it's ridiculous. Right? But if you don't want to give us a good laugh, then I'll ask my moderators, what will we do, Rick? Rick is one of the most feared moderators I've ever seen. They fear him, and they should. I will tell them, just mute him. I don't want you distracting the audience. If it's not truth, mods, please mute him. Just mute them. They're in their feeling. Straight jacket. Yeah, because we had a demon up here yesterday, Red Lady Red, and I thought about her. They said, this sister's really mind gone for Donald Trump. And I can't have any of that. Or I don't want any of your bad juju jumping off of you onto me. I don't want it around me. And I don't think anybody else wants it around us. All right. And so with that being said, if you cannot handle a platform like this, then just leave right now, because especially when you're a Trump supporter, you're going to be uncomfortable. I promise you, I'll make you uncomfortable. I promise you I will. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country,
W's, Ange. I see you, Ange.
if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Oh.
If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Yeah.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome, they have officially closed, and I take no responsibility. Zeus condemned to hell. Demon right there. Zeus condemned to hell. Already getting started this morning, huh? Already getting started, but they didn't want to send a guest request and give Zeus what he wants. Why don't you send a guest request and give me what I need, what I deserve, your soul? He doesn't want to do it, so mods, please dispose of him or them conveniently, because you know demons travel in legions. You know that? Yeah, they travel by the dozens. The average Trump supporter has at least 12 or more demons inside of them. I promise you they do. All right, and I don't want any of that around me. So let's get today's show off the ground, ladies and gentlemen. So what are we covering today? Oh, $2.98. Does anybody remember what that was? Oh, that was the price of gasoline before Donald Trump. You know, this guy that we used to hang out with on our show, DJ. Remember him? The gas was $2.98, but now we're finding out that gas is once again going up. Yeah. Now, this morning, I looked on the news, $4 a gallon. And he's the one that said, remember, it's a small price to pay. Where's your outrage, MAGA? Where is your outrage? He also signed 3 orders yesterday, putting a 50% tariff on Canada. He dug up a law from the 1930s to do this. Yeah. And the stuff that he taxed was what? Wine, cement, and hockey sticks? And the stuff we actually need, he said, that's exempt. Oh, and then you got the DOJ opening a file against Harvard once again. I mean, this country's, ladies and gentlemen, it's going down in flames. He's doing all of this to try to make it look like he's tough on China. And you say, this is the same person every time he sits down in front of a camera and he lets the demon go in overdrive. Oh, doesn't he say him and President Xi get along very well? Doesn't he always say, yeah, me and President Xi get along very well? And then he turns around and does stuff like this. It's just, it's a huge disgrace. It's a huge embarrassment. DHS, they're cutting down the visas on foreign reporters and students. Yeah, I mean, what is going on? And then, you know, last but not least, we got to go through this. There's a man, get this, he works for ICE, and he was on tape yesterday crying because he couldn't buy a quart of milk without a security detail. Some of you already know who I am talking about. You already know. And so before we get into that, let's go ahead and get everybody situated on this flight that we're about to take to Olympus. Because you know we take a flight every morning, right? Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and get in your seats and let's get ready to get airborne.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard this live episode of The Zeus Show. My name is Amazing, and on behalf of 3 Crossing Zeus, also known as Triple H, I would like to thank each of you for tuning in today. Your presence and support make this experience possible, and we are truly grateful for your continued engagement. As we prepare for takeoff, we kindly ask that you please return to your seats, buckle up, and get ready for an engaging journey. This show occasionally gets off the rails, and securing your attention ensures you remain safe and fully immersed throughout the broadcast.
Yeah.
To maximize your experience, we kindly remind you to tap the screen, like, comment, and share this live stream with your network.
You know how
your
to do
shares
that.
help expand our community and bring more voices into the conversation. We also encourage you to support the platform by utilizing the available gifts during the broadcast. These contributions directly enhance the production quality and sustainability of the show.
True.
If you require assistance with gifting features or have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to one of our moderators who are present and ready to assist you in enjoying the program. As a reminder, full recordings of this episode will be uploaded to our YouTube channel shortly after the live concludes.
True.
For complete information regarding all of my social media handles and platforms, please click the link in the bio. Thank you once again for choosing to be a part of the kingdom. We are honored that you have allowed Zeus, aka Triple H, to guide you to Olympus. Sit back, stay engaged,
True.
and enjoy the flight.
True.
The people
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, who else gives you that kind of sauce? W. Kabir. And shout out to your brother, too. He's a hero. He's a legend in my... Seriously, he is. Thank you, Kabir. And that was an airborne move. All right. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You all make me feel so good sometimes. All right. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into today's show. We're going to, first of all, start out with the conversation about the tariffs.
Canada's Prime Minister says he is ready to intensify trade talks with the U.S. after President Trump imposed new 50% tariffs on a range of Canadian goods. The White House says the import taxes on items from hockey sticks to cement are punishment for Canadian discrimination against key U.S. industries. It comes amid stalled negotiations to amend the trade deal President Trump reached with Canada in his first term. Mr. Trump already levied tariffs of 15 to 35% on some major Canadian exports, while Canada has its own counter tariffs ranging up to 25%.
So what we got right here, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, and I just said it earlier, Donald Trump signed 3 proclamations. One was under Section 338 of the Tariff Act of 1930. All right, look at this. You can go look it up on the website. Look at this. This is where Donald Trump's brain is at right now. MAGA loves BBC. Cut it out, Evan. Cut it out. I shouldn't be looking at that, Evan. Come on now. This is a 96-year-old statute, a Depression-era provision that predates the modern-day trade system. Look at this. Look at this. Each section of proclamation imposes a 50% tariff on Canadian imports. Basically destroys he didn't decide to renew the USMCA agreement that he negotiated in his first term. And basically we're at a point now where you're saying, well, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, 50% on hockey sticks. W, Miss Mo. So he's putting a 50% tariff on hockey sticks, not oil. Think about that. Think about how important hockey sticks are right now in the middle of all this chaos, right? I mean, you would think if he's really tough, he would have put it on the oil, but no, he's putting it on the hockey sticks. We still need I guess he thinks we need hockey sticks, all right? Not the potash, all right? No, because he knows what would happen if he did that. The farmers, they would literally revolt. So he doesn't do it with that. He dug up a law from the 1930s, ladies and gentlemen, to try to make Canada pay because they don't want to buy Kentucky bourbon. This is some sick stuff. This is some sick stuff, ladies and gentlemen, that Donald Trump really is doing right now. And he's doing this to try to make it look like he's really tough on Canada. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we're dealing with. You see what we're dealing with. Gas prices still continue to climb. Grocery prices still continue to climb. And this is what his base is looking for. He writes it right here. The Section 338 tariffs will not apply to energy, potash, products subject to tariffs under Section 232, and certain other goods such as fish or critical minerals. Tariffs will take effect 30 days after signing and are designed to offset the burden and disadvantage on U.S. commerce from Canada's discrimination. Isn't it pathetic, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't it pathetic? Isn't it pathetic that Donald Trump and these conservatives, every chance they get to try to pretend like they're the victims, they'll take it. Now, all of a sudden, Canada is discriminating against the United States because guess what? Nobody wants to buy the bourbon. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, W's in the chat for Rick. I can't say it. I can't even say what's going on in my brain sometimes because it makes absolutely no sense. And you say, well, speaking of who we're mad at this week, because that's how this works, the Justice Department, they decided to take their anger and frustration out because Donald Trump is just doing so terribly. They said, you know what, why don't we go ahead and once again, let's go ahead and probe Harvard, this time over financial aid programs and ties to China. And I sat back and I looked at this and I said, what is this? So they're saying the Civil Rights Division opened a compliance review yesterday into whether Harvard's China-based financial aid program is excluding American citizen students. Now think about that. China's giving them a gift, giving Harvard a gift, and they're required to report the gifts, and now they're trying to accuse China of discriminating. This is some crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Harvard's own foreign disclosure shows more than $630 million from China-based sources, and Harvard says it does not unlawfully discriminate, and yet the Trump administration, this is what they're doing. Once again, trying to act like they're tough on China. But isn't this the same guy? DJ, remember? Isn't this the same guy that says, me and President Xi get along very well? Yeah, look at this. And in their letter, they go, presumably, this is what they said. The word in the official letter, the DOJ said aid goes to foreign students, presumably Chinese. So they don't even know. They don't even really know. Harvard saying, hey, we're just reporting the gifts that you told us we have to report. And now you're accusing us of locking out. And I said, this is what makes it so, this is why I get upset. And it goes back to that conversation that I had with, you know who she was, Red Lady Red. Education is important, in my opinion, right? It's very important. And I understand there's issues around like which degrees actually translate into, you know, whatever you make, right? I get that conversation, but having the ability to think critically, I would say, is one of the best skills you could ever have in life. And when I look around and I listen to these Trump supporters, isn't that one of the most obvious things they lack? Isn't that one of the most obvious things that a Trump supporter lacks, ladies and gentlemen? W. Rick. Thank you, Rick. It's because of Obama? Yeah. So they don't value education. Yeetus the parasite. MAGA does not value education, right? But the Trump administration, and this is why Donald Trump likes the poorly educated. They're going after these institutions, all right, as if the discrimination they're accusing these institutions of doing is locking out Trump supporters. Think about that. How many of you ever met a Trump supporter that wanted to go to Harvard? I mean, has anyone met a Trump? How many of you know what I'm saying? How many of you've met a Trump? Because they don't want to be indoctrinated. Never. I posted a video yesterday. You should go check it out, Father. Right, Kabir. I posted this video yesterday. You should go see this video. I was going to play it on the show, but I said, you know what, I'm going to leave that alone. But I had to make a video. What these parents are doing to their kids, instead of preparing them to get a formal education, they're giving them letters from Donald Trump. You saw that video? Instead of preparing your children to actually get out here and be able to compete at a global level, you're indoctrinating them by telling them Donald Trump is somehow looking and acknowledging you and giving you a letter and calling you a great patriot. Did you see that? Disturbing, to say the least. And these are the people that actually go into voting booths and they vote. It's a national disgrace. It's a national embarrassment. And honestly, I would say this is a national security threat. W. Zeus. Yeah, go look at the video. Go check out the video. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about it. And I'm hoping, enough time has passed. He was drooling. Yeah. Think about that, drooling for Donald Trump. I didn't think about that. That's crazy. I would get, W. Rick, I'll be honest with you. I would get into so much trouble as a kid growing up if my parents would have seen me drooling for the president of the United States. I would have gotten into so much trouble. And it wouldn't have been something they would have said, oh, we understand. No, you shouldn't be drooling like that for no man. Number one, you could drool for Jesus, because they always like to throw that in. You drool for Jesus, but you don't drool for no other man. But these parents that let their kids worship Donald Trump. And I said, oh, the nation's going down in flames. The nation's going down in degradation, because no responsible parent should ever let their children worship a politician. Shame on you if you're doing that. All right. And we know who they tend to be, the conservative families, the Christians. Yeah, they replaced Jesus with Trump. Moving on to my next topic. This one's going to hit home. It really is. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. How many of you remember February 28th when gas prices were around $2.98 a gallon. How many of you remember that? I do. Well, we got some breaking news. And again, I want MAGA to come front and center and explain this.
Fighting with Iran is spiking gas and oil prices again. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of regular is back up to $4. The average price a week ago was $3.87 a gallon. I spoke to New Yorkers who were feeling the pain.
It's ridiculous, man. Who wants to pay $7 for gas? It's ridiculous. How do you expect us to pay for this?
Oh, already going down? Oh, we have a soul here, Green Giant. Send us a guest request. Send Big Zeus a guest request, Green Giant, and bring the evidence. All right. You see how as soon as I start showing these demons what's really happening, they all of a sudden ratchet up and got something to say to me. No, if you're a Trump supporter and you're listening to this show, consider it a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to listen to Big Zeus, because look at where all the decisions you've been making in your life have landed you. You're not good at thinking critically, and you're not good at making wise decisions. So listen to what I'm saying. Zip your trap. All right. And if you're in the chat, and you're making a distraction, mods, mute them. Just mute them, because they got to come to the box, right, and give us what we want, which is a good laugh.
A gallon of regular is back up to $4. The average price a week ago was $3.87 a gallon. I spoke to New Yorkers who were feeling the pain.
It's ridiculous, man. Who wants to pay $7 for gas? It's ridiculous. How do you expect us to pay for this?
Inflation is really high. Groceries are super expensive. Everything is expensive. I feel like it costs about $200 a day to survive in New York City.
Wow.
CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more.
According to AAA, the national average for a price of gas has jumped above $4 a gallon again. Now, it's the first time since...
Where are the Trump supporters at? No, seriously. Gregory Jones, DJ, Wildman, Grinder, 69. You know who they are. Snuggie Wuggy. You see how I destroyed these demons? These folks literally crashed out when Joe Biden was in the office. Remember? Joe Biden didn't start the war between Russia and Ukraine. He was just simply trying to help Ukraine defend itself. And that situation, that triggered global inflation. That was right after C-19. And you all went through everything you could. You did everything you could to blame Asler too. Yeah, Red Lady Red. You did everything you could to blame Joe Biden for something he had no control of. Now your dear leader started a war, and we know why he did that. It was right after Bill Clinton sat down and testified in front of the Oversight Committee about what he knew with Epstein. And we were now on the verge of getting Melania to sit her behind down and Donald Trump to sit his behind down. Oh, we got to go to Iran. We got to raise the price up on Americans now, because I just don't want to bring myself to be held accountable for my relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, right? You know how this all got started. So look at where we're at now. And then in the middle of all of this, say their names. W's in the chat. All right. What'd you say, Tara? $3.79 here 3 days ago. Now it's $4 a gallon. And you see, these roaches have scattered. Trump supporters have literally retreated on social media. Now they're chasing their tails. Their heads are in conspiracy theory. I got to be careful. But they don't want to get over here and put belt to behind on WVIP. They don't want to come over here and let us put belt to behind and get them to give us the information about why is this all of a sudden acceptable.
Mid-June that has happened after a 13-cent spike in gas prices over the last 7 days.
Get out of here.
What does that translate to across the country? Big increases at the pump. Arizona saw gas prices jump 36 cents last week. In Nebraska, it was 28.
Wow.
Pennsylvania, 23 cents. Michigan, 21 cents. Diesel has also jumped above $5 a gallon, hovering around $5.10. That's up 23 cents or so in the last week. All of this, of course, costs consumers more, whether it's filling up their vehicles or that diesel price is important because those trucks transport goods of all kinds that ultimately consumers start paying for. Now, why is this happening? Well, the run-up in energy prices due to the resumption of conflict with Iran has pushed energy prices up. That results in gas prices rising. It's also at a time when demand for gas is high. It's the peak of summer vacation season, so people are driving. And many of the U.S. oil refineries are near or at their refining capacity.
Wow. And we haven't even spoken on the SPR and how that's been depleted. Donald Trump is actively destroying the world, ladies and gentlemen, and his supporters, they keep cheering this nonsense on. And my question to MAGA is, when will you reach your breaking point? Do you really hate Democrats that much? No, seriously. You hate Democrats. You hate real independents. You hate Republicans. MAGA, you hate everybody. Think about how crazy that sounds. You want to live on a planet and hate everybody. That means you don't get along with anybody. Well, if you don't get along with anyone, then how the heck are you going to survive on this earth? Think about that, because believe it or not, the very people you probably despise and hate, in one way or another, they're contributing to your life. But you're too ignorant to realize it. You're too ignorant to realize how the people that you spend all day demonizing on social media, illegal immigrants, transgender, you don't know how these people are directly or indirectly impacting your life with your hateful selves. It's a disgrace that we have a generation of people who did not learn how to be respectful human beings. And if they were taught it, then they went out and deliberately erased the programming and replaced it with demonic, wicked, and evil conduct. So the gas prices are going up, and then you get stuff like this. Donald Trump offering freedom fuel. Think about this. More locations coming soon. I guess this is probably one of those places you sent me the picture at from DJ, right? Remember? Gas is so cheap now, Zeus. And you go, well, where are these places? Where are these places? And you look into this website, freedomfuelnetwork.com. Yeah, we have received an overwhelming wave of media interest in Freedom Fuel Network following President Trump's strong endorsement of Freedom Fuel gas. And then you find out after the fact, where are the gas stations at, ladies and gentlemen? Where are the gas stations? They don't exist. Maybe, okay, he gives a couple gas stations a couple of coupons. They go on and create some social media content. You know how this goes. And all the right-wing influencers, they get on their social media platforms and say, look at this President Donald Trump. Oh, he lowered the gas again. Praise him. And then you get this news, ladies and gentlemen. More bad news. More bad news about the gas price. Because if you think that was bad, it gets worse.
Yemen's Houthi rebels are threatening to target Saudi shipping in the Red Sea. Now, this is important because Saudi Arabia, like other Gulf nations, have been affected by Iran's chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz, through which about a fifth of all the world's oil and natural gas passed in peacetime. Now, as the Iran war has been going on, Saudi Arabia has been using a pipeline to take oil to a Red Sea port and then export it from there. But Yemen's Houthi rebels, who the Saudi government and other Middle East nations have been locked in a war with all the way back since 2015, have been threatening to target Saudi ships in the Strait of Hormuz, the Gulf of Aden, and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which, like the Strait of Hormuz, is a key maritime waterway.
Wow.
Now, the Houthis don't have necessarily a large navy to do a naval blockade, but what they do have is Iranian-made drones and missiles. And during the Israel-Hamas war in the Gaza Strip, the Houthis attacked over 100 ships. There's a chance, if the Houthis carry out this threat, that they...
You see that? They're gonna choke off another oil route in the Middle East. We know 20% already goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and now you got this situation where they're gonna be shutting it down again on the other side, in the other strait. Remember when Donald Trump said this?
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in. You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
Are you winning it, MAGA? Look at this, Foxtrot, whatever your name, send the Democrats to Iran. I just sent you an invite. Why don't you come on TikTok and tell us why we should go to Iran? Oh, you don't want to do that? Yeah. I didn't think so. Okay, come on up here. He got all these sixes in his name, too, so this is pure demonic work right here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you don't want to come, mods? Thank you. Thank you, mods. That's a huge W, Zeus. Because they know exactly how this conversation is going to go. How's it going to go? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's cool. Great. Now show us how Donald Trump is helping you. Oh, Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala. You know, because that's how the demon acts. You know, yeah. That's cool. I've seen a lot of crashing out in my lifetime on TikTok. But go ahead, show us that information. And then you get the slurring. You get the becoming a disgraceful human being stuff. And then guess what I got to do? I got to send them straight to hell. So these demons know. Keep on. That's why I tell the mods. I say, listen, if they're chirping in the comment section, just mute them. Just mute them, because there's only one way we want to hear from you, and that's right through that guest request. Am I right, W, Zeus, ladies and gentlemen? If they're chirping in the comments, just mute them. All right. Now, we just listened to how the gas prices are about to go, are going up, right? W's in the chat for a little hop. Yeah, because what I've learned is the type of personality that I have is it's better that I just keep good, clean thoughts, circulating in my brain. Because when a MAGA thought invades my brain, you want to talk about invasion, then that's when we have to start, allocating all kinds of weaponry, so to speak, to make sure we address the demonic spirit and get it eradicated, right? And so it's better that I just don't even entertain them when they're in the comment section. Because what I want MAGA to do is I want them to feel what's happening. I don't want them to hear, but I want them to feel it, right? And so right now, like I said, I get them to crash out because we start talking about gas prices. And I know a lot of them right now are struggling with their gas prices right now. Yeah, nobody has an extra $200 for gas. I don't care how much money you got in your bank. No one has an extra $200 for gas. No. You know what you could do with that? You could go do so many other different things, so to speak. Well, now with inflation, you got a little less what you can do, but you get what I'm saying. And then you just think to yourself like, wow, the reason I'm giving up this $200, it isn't because of a choice I made. I have no choice. I have no choice. And then you hear the president, and I don't even like to refer to him as that, right? But I say it to be, politically correct in occasion, telling you stuff like, we've destroyed their Navy. We've destroyed their military, right? We've destroyed everything, even when as far as to blow up a school with girls. Think about how sick that is. And yet the gas prices are still up. You can't. And that's not even, to me, that's a major problem. But what's even more alarming is the fact that there's still people supporting us. And they still don't get it. They still don't get it. They still believe Donald Trump when he says stuff like this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember when he said this? This is what they're holding on to. They think this is some sort of 5D chess stuff.
Are you going to suspend the federal gas tax?
Yeah, I'm going to reduce until let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran, as soon as it's over, you're going to see gasoline and oil drop like a rock. Going to be dropping down like a rock.
They believe this.
I mean, already, look. Just on the basis of, things have happened.
Oh.
When it first came about, 20% of the oil came out of Hormuz. That's a lot. But, with time, it's like they go into Texas, they go into Louisiana, they go into Alaska, a lot of Alaska. Alaska's, sort of, it seems like very far away from Asia, but it's actually a relatively short trip by comparison to other locations they have to go.
They believe him. It's going to drop like a rock. Now we're in Alaska, MAGA. Oh, but Joe Biden, he was in the basement. He wore a mask and he beat Donald Trump. I can't accept that. That's just too difficult for my brain to process. Oh, you couldn't process the fact that, let me go ahead and say this before I get into let me go back and say this, because this is something else that I think we need to have an honest conversation about here in the United States. Anybody questioning the way Biden won that election, I need you to really go back, and I've said this before, and go back to what was happening here in the United States of America. If you could instantly place your brain there, you will remember the only thing people could do was vote. That's how you saw the record number. Well, how did he get more votes than Obama? Everybody was sitting at home. Why? Oh, because we had a C-19 situation. So what do you think is going to happen when everybody has nothing to do but sit at home and watch the news? A lot more people are going to vote. I don't know how to make it that much easier for your brains to process. That's never happened. Not in our lifetime. Never happened. So you had a whole bunch of people during the thick of C-19 sitting at home, and then we all saw the video. George Floyd. If you saw you saw that, what would that do to the average person sitting at home? It would make them say, all right, well, we can't get out and really protest because they're saying protesting, but some people did. But you get out there and protest, you might get hit with a super spreader. Remember? So the best thing people did, and it wasn't just here in the United States, it was worldwide. They spoke with their vote. That's why Donald Trump got his behind handed to him by Joe Biden. And Joe Biden was the right person for that time. You could talk about how he wore a mask and all that other stuff, but it really wasn't about Biden. It was about the American people. They were fed up with Donald Trump. Think about it. Every day you turned on the TV, another Americans, the numbers were going up, even sort of like what we're seeing right now. Every day I turn on the TV now, another American soldier losing their life. And it's like, here we go again. Here we go again with the same thing. And the sad thing is, and actually, MAGA, you get they get upset when I say it, but Donald Trump honestly was a lucky person to get a second chance to be the president. You Trump supporters, you willed this man back in the White House. And a wise man would have said, you know what? I got lucky, and I'm going to, count my lucky stars, give all glory to God, so to speak, and I'm going to course correct to make sure the people that got me in office get the best return on their investment, right? Because I'm getting a second chance. That's how you're supposed to be. But he got in, and he's a lot worse than he was the first time. And the reason he is because he's never been forced to be accountable for his conduct. MAGA, you let this man trick you, deceive you into putting him into the White House, and he hasn't learned the lesson from his first time. So now we get the full dose. Now we're getting the full dose of your dear leader. 100% lies, no accountability, chaos, destruction out the wazoo. And you're still holding on, thinking that at the end of this wild and crazy ride, you're going to still be there in a better shape than you were before you signed up. It's the most mind-blowing thing. That's why I'm perfectly set. And I'm perfectly fine knowing a lot of you Trump supporters, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. By the time this man's done with you, Donald Trump, you won't be on the face of the earth. Because when you work iniquity, guess what? Hell will be your portion. W. Zeus. When you work iniquity, go look it up. Hell's going to be your portion. Yeah, because the wages of sin, if you read the Bible, is death. You reap what you sow. It's a universal thing, right? If you keep planting bad seeds, guess what you're going to get? The fruits are going to grow. The fruits are going to grow, and the product is going to be evil and corruption. And that's why a lot of you are sitting at home right now, no health insurance. Your utility bills are going up, and you got nobody out there looking out for you. Not even your pastor. Your pastor worships Donald Trump. Who said TDS Who said TDS? Gronk? You think I got TDS? You think I got TDS, Gronk? They hate me because I tell the truth, but they know deep down in their souls. I haven't lied not one time. Yeah, but you want. I know what Gronk wants. He wants more of this.
Get oil, and they go into Alaska. In fact, our big problem is we're building bigger docking, to fill
You want
up.
more of this?
But we have, we've become very big on the filling station. We're a big filling station.
Yeah.
And what's happening is, when people heard about losing Hormuz, they said, oh, it's genius. They're finding other locations. And some of those people, I spoke to them, companies and countries, some of those people are going to continue to go to Texas. They like it better. They said it's an extra 45 minutes. They like it better. And it's sort of amazing, it found its way. So a lot of people thought oil would go to $250, $300. It's not. I mean, today it's at less than 100. Think of that. Now, when this ends, you're going to see it drop like a rock.
How long are you going to suspend that tax for?
Till it's appropriate,
Mr. President,
When it ends, it's going to drop like a rock. That's what MAGA wants more. Just their daily dose of lies to get them through hard times. Does it make you feel so good, Trump supporters? He gave it to you right there. You can go argue with Zeus now. Look at you. Speaking of arguing, let's go ahead and round the corner and address what this demon did yesterday. Tom Homan crashed out over a quart of milk yesterday. I saw this. Listening to this interview, you have to keep in mind the anger is because he can't go and get a quart of milk the way he wants to. Not a gallon. He needs that perfect quart of milk. And you're looking at him, and I said, oh, yeah, I really do believe this man loves milk. So he's trying to crash out about, the situation between ICE and citizens in this country. And you heard about the story in New York. They say a U.S. Army veteran did something trying to attack. We all condemn political violence, right? We all condemn political violence, but what we're not paying attention to is what the reality is. I spend a lot of time on this show making sure a lot of the men on this show recognize, we tend to be the violent people and we need to take accountability for our conduct, right? And I understand that behavior very, very well. So when I heard the story yesterday, immediately I got skeptical because I said, Donald Trump stages a lot of things, and this could be something that they're doing to try to get people to feel sorry for ICE, right? I don't know what it is, but that's just where I'm at until I get to see the evidence. But then they give you the information and it's a U.S. Army veteran. And I said, see, these people that serve our country, they come back to this country and they got all that stuff they've went through in the armed services still rolling around in their head, right? And that's something we got to make sure. That's why I say we need to have health care, right? These folks need to be able to get access to support services to help them process and deal with all that stuff. But the Republicans, they don't care. They just bring them on back here, bring them on back here. Okay, great. So now we got a bunch of people here that aren't able to get access to health care. These are the conditions, right? And you got agitators, ICE. When they go, well, why is ICE agitating? Well, in America right now, you have two things happening, and the MAGA doesn't want to recognize it. Maybe their brains doesn't work, but I'll tell them. When I see ICE, you know who I think of? I'll show you, and people hate it when I do it.
We are Trump supporters and support Donald Trump. Happy 250th birthday, America. We love being the worst of the worst and scum of the earth for our dear.
What bothers me about it is, remember during C-19, and I haven't done this in a while. You all have, remember I used to do this during January 6th? I'm going to do it again. During C-19, excuse me, we had the social distance, and the rule was keep your germs to yourself. And whatever that means you need to do it. Right? What does keeping your germs look like? Keeping your germs to yourself. 6 feet distance. You can say whatever you want about Dr. Fauci. He was on to something. He was, Yeah. Give me my 6 feet. I don't need to be breathing the same air these demons are breathing. Great. And do us another favor. Do us another solid. What's that? Why don't you go ahead and put a mask on so you can keep your bodily fluid, so to speak, to yourself, right? Remember this? And so people were walking around like this, right? Leave it to the demons. Leave it to the demons to ruin something that honestly I think was very helpful. They go, oh, you can't make me wear a mask, Joe Biden. Absolutely not. I can't wear a mask. And you go in a grocery store and you see the fruit laid out and they go all over the fruit. And you're going, put the mask on. I can't breathe. Remember that? I can't breathe if you make me put the mask on. We lived through it here in the United States. These demons lied and told us. And they even went as far as to go to see the doctor and get a doctor's note so the doctor could tell them they can use this as a medical reason why they couldn't wear the mask. I mean, they went that far. Right? Okay. Demons can't breathe. Demons can't breathe wearing a mask. Got it. Then Trump 2.0 kicks in. And I'm going to show it to you again.
We are Trump supporters and support Donald Trump. Happy 250th birthday, America. We love being the worst of the worst and scum of the earth.
See, they can wear masks all of a sudden again. What happened? So white supremacists can wear masks and breathe. ICE, they can wear masks and breathe. Huh. Wow. In 90-degree weather. Yeah. So you don't understand why people in America who've been to war are traumatized now about people wearing masks? Within the last 6 years, we've seen folks literally crashing out about I can't breathe if I put a mask on. These same people are now being employed by the federal government wearing a mask and they can breathe. And they think because they're wearing a mask, we don't recognize them. We recognize you with the mask on or with the mask off because guess what, demons? We can recognize how you move. Yeah, your body structure, the way you walk, your rhetoric. We pick up on real clues, not real cues, not just the mask. We knew you were a demon when you had the mask on. You know, and this is why I sit here and I say, I got to continue to do this kind of work and expose these demons. You're not going to trick Big Zeus. You're not going to trick Big Zeus. You can breathe if you wear the mask. All right. So let's not pretend like what Tom Homan is crashing out about is a real issue. And we still don't have answers about what ICE has been doing to a lot of these people who showed up missing or unalived. We don't have any evidence. The body cameras every time. Where's the body camera? Or where's the body camera footage? We're working on it. We never could get any answers about it. And so when Tom Homan did this ridiculous publicity stunt yesterday, I could sense that the real anger was coming from the quart of milk.
Twice with the false media that's out there about him.
But then why did the administration roll back what the Biden administration is trying to do to get body cameras and all?
That's a question above me. I'm just saying when I came back and, you know, that.
So now the body camera footage is a question above Tom Homan. All of a sudden, Mr. Powerful Tom Homan. But when we ask about the body camera footage, now it's above you. You don't care.
When Democrats shut the government down, I was a part of that negotiation team up on the Hill. They kept going to Minnesota. All the mistakes they say happened in Minnesota. I don't think there's a lot of the mistakes they claim in Minnesota. A lot of them were, I don't think, mistakes. But one thing they asked was, we want body cameras. I said, well, there's money, $120 million in the bill you're holding up for me to buy the body cameras. So the reason there's not body cameras nationwide right now because they shut the government down.
So Now you want me to believe Tom Homan, the Democrats shut the government down. We all know that wasn't the Democrats, that was the Republicans, and they did it because of the Epstein files. And now the money is there, and you don't have them on because of the Democrats. Again, it makes no sense when you know what you know. The Democrats are not in control of the government now. The Republicans, like Thomas Massie said, the Republicans are in control.
Anybody doesn't believe that? Look it up. Now that we have the funding, body cameras have been purchased. As of last week, they were training the trainers. Body cameras are being deployed throughout the country, training the trainers so they can go to Boston field office and train everybody. Here's how you use it. Here's how long you need to keep the tape. And it just wasn't the funding for the cameras either. We had to hire a lot of people to handle FOIAs. I'm sure all you going FOIA camera every day, right? So we got our people to handle FOIAs. We got in the storage capability of holding millions and millions of video. That's expensive, but now we got the money that's being implemented.
You just said that in Minnesota, what happened wasn't a mistake with the shootings that we saw.
I said Democrats claim all these mistakes were made, and when I sat down with them, they said, well, they want a mask off. No, we're not taking mask off.
You hear him? We're not taking the mask off. You hear what he just said right there? This is what I'm talking about. But I thought you couldn't breathe. The reporter caught him.
Well, they want a mask off. No, we're not taking mask off.
You're saying it's not a mistake.
Wow.
Do you have an update on the investigation that the American people don't know
look,
about?
I went to Minnesota and I said from day one, it was not a perfect operation. There were several chains of command. I had a problem with the targeting. I went out there and made changes. I brought in additional internal affairs agents in. We created one chain of command. And I see a lot of people out there saying that, we surrendered Minnesota. No, we didn't. We got agreements that keeps that city safer, keeps the officers safer.
Really?
And keeps the aliens safer too. Because the more aliens we can arrest in the safety and security of the jail means less criminal aliens being released to the street. So we were able to go up there and continue the operation, but we had unprecedented agreements where less criminal aliens are hitting the street, which is good for that state, good for that city, and safer for our officers. That's a win across the board.
No, it's not. And you can literally see by his movement, his mannerism, that he knows he's lying. He knows he's trying to cover up for the corruption right now. And people will say, well, Zeus, you're spewing anti-ICE rhetoric. No, I'm not. What we're talking about is the perpetual gaslighting coming out from these leaders that are in the Trump administration. Instead of just being upfront and honest about things like, where are the body camera footage? You want to turn around and make it about politics. You want to make it about the Democrats. The Democrats aren't running ICE. You are.
Officer, on the ICE officer in Maine, is there any more clarity on how he got his job, considering the vetting concerns that his wife has raised?
Yeah.
Are there potential changes coming to the vetting process of ICE?
And if you don't know the background story, the person they're saying is responsible for what the horrific thing that we all witnessed happening in Maine last week, ICE agent, he was not qualified, had a background of documented abuse, both ex-wives, mentally unstable. The man needed to actually be getting health care. All right. He needed to be given access to health care and some therapists, maybe a lot of, support around the mental state. But instead, the Trump administration said, you don't need that. What you need to do is take this sidearm and get into these streets of America and unleash hell. Again, another crime statistic that goes unreported. Criminals with badges. This is what I'm talking about. I don't accept the DOJ's evidence of crime going on right now in the United States. Absolutely not, because they're not counting the real crime, which is what ICE is doing.
That's a question for ICE. That's under investigation.
Of course.
I'm sure that part now is part of the investigation. We'll let the investigation play. I'm not going to comment on the investigation. This is ongoing.
Of course he's not. So he's not going to comment on an investigation, but then he all of a sudden knows what happened in an investigation.
You've had some time now to work with Mark Wayne Mullen as the DHS secretary. What would you describe as the difference between his management style and the management style of his predecessor?
And let me say this. Someone shared an X post this morning. There are people out there who want to attack this current administration. They don't think we're doing enough. There's an X post this morning that someone shared with me. Someone named Marianne or somebody.
He doesn't know her name.
The ICE was arresting 3,000 aliens a day last year. No.
Go ahead and get your story right.
Not a single time did we arrest 3,000 aliens. And now they're saying we're arresting 2,000. We're hitting about 2,000 pretty steadily.
So he doesn't know her name, but he knows the amount. This is how you catch these liars. Not consistent. So you're quoting a number, but you don't know who you got the number from, Tom Homan? Only a Trump supporter would sit back and listen to this and say, there you go. Yeah, that's 100% true. I love being lied to and made to feel good about stuff that isn't true.
Like I said this weekend, I looked at the data. Arrests are up about 40% over the same time period that we've been funded. Now, I've been frank from the beginning. Numbers were down for a few months because the department was shut down. Of course, numbers are going to go down when targeting less and officers, less overtime and all those other reasons. When you shut, the government down, there's going to be less to do. So, and I was very honest from day one. The numbers were down 12 to 16%, but now the numbers are trailing up 40% because we are fully funded. I thought they're doing their job. But I'm really tired of the false narratives going out there about what this administration is doing.
Here he goes. Now he's tired of the false narratives about what the administration is doing. Tom, what exactly is the Trump administration doing right now?
The numbers are up. Last month, June, highest numbers of arrests in the history of the agency.
How many?
Then I see people say, wow, you're combining CBP numbers or Coast Guard. No, I didn't. The numbers I quoted this weekend were ICE numbers. So I wish people would do a little bit of research before they start attacking this administration, what we're doing right now. Our numbers are higher than ever been. And I'm sick and tired of people saying we're not doing enough. That's an insult to every ICE agent that's strapping up every day, working 6 and 7 days a week to get this done. It's an insult. These men and women are acting professionally. They're out there making record numbers. And
so I got to pause this right now. Tom Homan, listen up. And this is, I got to say this because there's people who work for ICE right now. And I do honestly believe there's a lot of people probably working there just to pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't sign up to work there and then have the idea that you would have a president like we have now. But they're in the middle of a situation. But you need to understand right now, in this country right now, you have two sides, I think, two schools of thought, right? There's definitely the school of thought that we have an immigration issue and we need ICE to fix it. That's one side. But then on the other side, there's the reality that the process you're using to go about trying to fix that is 100% wrong. And you're sweeping up innocent people that don't need to be swept up. And you're subjecting communities all over the country to unleashed hell, terror. And they don't want anything to do with it. So you're in a bit of a predicament if you're working there. Do you want to be running around out here knowing that's the temperature? I wouldn't. I would hand in my badge. I'm cool. I'll go take my chances doing something else. It's just not worth the risk at this point because leadership starts at the top. If the leaders aren't holding a high standard, and you can clearly see they're not, they've already changed out Kristi Noem. All right. Donald Trump isn't acting like he actually is capable of actually holding these people accountable to a high standard. He just wants them to be loyal to him. So if you're working for an agency like this, it's a decision you got to think to yourself about and say, is it even worth it? I couldn't do it. I personally couldn't do it because if you turn on the TV and this is what your manager, your supervisor is saying, oh, this looks bad. I can't get jiggy with this.
You want to question numbers? I guess that's your right. But let's compare facts.
I just have a question about the difference in the management style of those.
Me and Mark Wayne want to get along well, and he cares about the mission.
Let's go ahead.
We serve different roles. ICE and CBP reports to Mark Wayne Mullen. I'm here. I help Stephen Miller. We develop strategies that send down to the programs for implementation. So we got different roles. But I think Mark Wayne Mullen's doing a good job.
But sir, should the FBI investigate these ICE agents if they confront people?
Yeah.
That is what the New York Times is saying.
Yeah, let's investigate the ICE agents.
They have something that 550 people were had charges brought against them for assaulting federal officers. Of the more than 400 cases that were resolved, nearly half had unraveled.
Wow.
You know what's going to help though? The body cameras. They didn't have body cameras. A lot of these confrontations happen. Again, I think body cameras are going to help. Look, I'm not going to comment.
So the number of people that he said the numbers are way up. She called them out on that. Hey, half of those cases they've unraveled. You don't have the justification to do what you were doing. Now he's pro body cameras. Now he's pro body camera again.
So that's the answer, not FBI investigation.
Wow.
Is what you're saying.
As far as I know, there's been no change in policy. The FBI and DHS just responded to that story and didn't agree with it. Again, I'm not in the loop on that. I can just tell you from my experience, FBI has always been involved in shooting investigations. HSI, they're the criminal investigation part of ICE. They do the majority investigations in 111, which is assault impeding an officer.
How are the training procedures changing? You talked about training the trainers. How are those training procedures?
Training the trainers.
They're not changing. Training the trainers for the cameras. How do you operate a camera? What's the requirements? When do you turn it on? When do you turn it off? How quick do you need to store the data? How long is the data being stored? So there's a lot of work into this, and training the trainers. Once they get fully trained, they go to the field office with the equipment, and they implement and deploy it and tell people, here's how you use it and here's how you control it.
Are there
So what's the timeline then for every immigration agent to have a body camera?
As soon as possible, if that's my way.
So you're satisfied with the training right now of ICE agents? Nothing needs to be improved. There's
always room for improvement. That's a loaded question. There's always room for improvement. Things change all the time. FBI updates their training. DEA updates their training. Every police department updates their training. Because I used to look. You can never be overtrained. I wish there was more training.
I think American people want the answer of when every ICE agent will be wearing a body camera.
When?
I know you said as soon as possible, but is there a timeline floating around within?
That's a question for ICE. I know they got the deployment schedule, and I know they got the equipment. That's a question for ICE.
So he can't give us an answer on when ICE agents, all of a sudden, he can't answer when they're going to have the body cameras on. They think people really believe this though. Oh, that's a question for ICE. Well, you're sitting on camera right now running your mouth for ICE. You were bragging about the numbers, but it's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to what's really happening, they don't want to be honest.
The weeds that deep.
Is the administration required to turn on their cameras at all times during a traffic stop?
Yeah. Yes.
And what's the consequence if they don't?
More about the quantity of ICE agents over the quality of the agents?
Say that again?
Is this administration more concerned about the number, the quantity of ICE administrations that have taken place over the quality?
I can't speak for everybody in the administration, but quality agents are very important. So it should be all. You won't give somebody a badge and gun; they need to be the best they can be.
So are there going to be reevaluations then of the hiring?
That's a question for ICE.
Is there any other procedure or protocol on the ground changing? Stops.
There's already, the director of ICE decided that there needs to be at least one body camera on the scene. And again, I'm a big supporter of the body cameras, and as more body camera gets out there, they all happen.
That's the only change.
But let's be clear, you can attack the men and women at ICE all you want. It comes down to one simple fact: these people fail to comply with law enforcement. Even some of the major chiefs in this country who don't necessarily agree with this administration says you always comply with law enforcement. But the hateful rhetoric that ICE isn't a real law enforcement agency. I see these signs that resist. ICE are let's abolish them. They're fascists. When you keep that hateful rhetoric up for a year and a half, there's going to be that percentage of that population that's going to be emboldened to take action because they're not real law enforcement agency. I should resist them. All they had to do is simply comply with law enforcement. If you don't like what law enforcement did to you, then go to the courts, sue, call the.
Tell this to the people who attacked the Capitol on January 6th.
Do whatever you want to do. But you should always comply with law enforcement. If they did, they'd be alive today. Now, I'm not going to comment on the investigation itself. We'll wait for it to play out. This is about complying with law enforcement, and a lot of the negative, hateful. And I said this a year ago. If a hateful rhetoric doesn't stop, there will be bloodshed.
Whoa, champ! How did we get there? Wow. You see what I mean?
And unfortunately, I was right. And I'll tell you something else. It's not over yet. unless they keep attacking and miscommunicating what ICE does every day, calling them Nazis and comparing ICE to the Nazi regime. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
And I'm not saying the whole country's convinced, but there's going to be that population that's just going to embolden to do something stupid. And I'm afraid that we're going to bury an ICE agent. I'm afraid I'm going to hand another folded flag to a spouse or a child of an ICE agent for simply doing his job.
That's what you're afraid of, Tom Homan? You're not concerned about the innocent people that are losing their lives at the hands of the ICE agents? Not one bit? That's, again, I couldn't work for an agency like this. Your manager, supervisor go out and says something like this? How inhumane. I don't even think it would be that big of a deal if they would just follow the law and treated people with dignity and respect.
And for any member of Congress to keep attacking ICE and calling them fascists and Nazis, I said it 1,000 times. If they're a Nazi for enforcing the law, what's that make them? They wrote the law. We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws they wrote, and that they appropriate us money to enforce. Now, I'll say it once again. If ICE agents act inappropriately or illegal, they'll be held accountable, just like they were held accountable in Minnesota. Everybody, guys, ICE agents are mom and dads too. They don't hang their heart on a hook every day to do this job. And it's just not attack on the ICE agents, it's attack on their spouses and children, and no one knows that better than me.
Oh.
I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why? Because I'm enforcing laws in this country. It's pathetic and it's disgusting. Thanks, Tom.
Did you just see him crash out over a quart of milk? Let me get that again. This is when I said, okay, enough.
It's attack on their spouses and
Listen
children,
to this.
and no one knows that better than me. I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why? Because I'm enforcing laws in this country. It's pathetic and it's disgusting.
It's pathetic and it's disgusting. A quart of milk, not a gallon. He focused on that quart. Isn't that interesting? That's the unit. That's the unit Tom Homan chose to say America owes him, a quart of milk. This is what this is all about. Big boy needs some milk. Isn't this funny, ladies and gentlemen? You guys put baby bottles in the chat all the time when we see these supporters. This is why. All they want is some milk.
It's attack on their spouses and children, and no one knows that better than me. I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why? Because I'm enforcing laws in this country. It's pathetic and it's disgusting.
That milk is disgusting. That milk that you're drinking is disgusting. But think about this, ladies and gentlemen. A grown man, hefty size, crying because he has a security detail when he goes and gets a quart of milk at the grocery store. Who has a security detail, number one? How many of you go to the grocery store with a security detail? That's the pathetic part. He tell everybody else, comply and you will be alive. But then at the end of the day, it's his agency that's doing the unaliving. It's the craziest thing. And then Neil has no body cameras. You can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. This is how incompetent and deranged the Trump administration is. Doing all of this crying over a quart of milk. You can't make this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, W. Zeus. That concludes my monologue. And now it is time to open up the boxes and hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth and shame the devil. Yeah, we covered quite a bit this morning. Yeah, wow. W's to the chat, all of you. Yeah, I know it was a lot that we had to get through, but it was necessary. All right. Good morning, Brother Val. Welcome. How are you doing, bro?
How's it going, Kingdom? How's it going, Zeus?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. And you?
Doing good. Hey, here's my message for Tom Holman. If you're worried about getting your milk and you're wondering why you need a security detail everywhere, and you're talking about fascism the way you are, maybe it's because you're the head of the brown shirt. So if you know, you know.
Ooh, W's in the chat for Val. Let's go. You coming in hot this morning.
Cry all you want, but you've made your own bed, now lay in it. That's what we'd be told, right?
Yeah.
So so here's the deal. In the body cam thing. Come on, we've been yelling about the body cam thing for well over a year now.
Yeah.
don't what's the old saying? Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining.
Raining outside, yeah. You said on your back. Yeah, I've never heard it said that way, but yeah, if somebody's doing that, you got a lot going on. Okay.
Right. These are the things that are happening. These are the things that are happening with people like Tom Holman. This man is the worst of the worst in a real kind of way.
Yeah.
And to say that he's following the law of this country, that was a joke too. That was bad.
Yeah. I completely agree. But do you think, honestly though, does ICE really understand I guess how people in this country feel about them? Because it seems to me like they just don't get it.
No, these people are emboldened and empowered. When you hire a group of people like the one that just unalived the person in Maine, right?
Yeah.
Like that. When you hire people like that, the one that we mysteriously don't have body cam footage from, the one whose wife actually took the time, ex-wife or wife, whatever, took the time to come on national television and make a statement that this man is the biggest POS out there, and not to mention all the police reports that have been filed on this man. This man shouldn't hold a federal job anywhere.
Wow.
In any kind of law enforcement.
Amen.
And this wasn't like it was hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean, this when you put these kind of people, actual Christian nationalist white supremacist people in a law enforcement group, this is going to be the outcome, period. There is no other way around it. And Tom Holman is right about one thing. This is going to get worse.
You think so?
If they don't get it under control, this is going to get worse. And it is going to erupt in public displeasure of what's happening.
Wow.
These are just common sense.
Yeah. So you think it's going to get worse? Because didn't it seem like it kind of calmed down after the Minnesota?
No. And about the Minnesota thing, like the people were held accountable in Minnesota. By who, Tom Holman? It wasn't your office. These people are being held accountable in Minnesota, charged by the Minnesota AG. Because the federal government will not give them the information they need, and the federal government will not file charges.
Wow.
So Minnesota is going after them. Okay, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
These are the things. What I'm saying. These are the things. But to oil prices, because that was one of your topics a little bit ago.
So we laid into him on the ICE, but you're going to go get him on the oil prices. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, DJ, is DJ here? Because DJ, he was bragging about the prices going down during the MOE.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like common sense escapes him too. Here's the thing with the oil prices. For those who don't know the story, Iran has come out and said, hey, they want their portion of the $9 billion. What $9 billion are you asking about?
Yeah. What is
the $9 billion that Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff made while doing the negotiations for the Iran deal.
What?
So everybody knows, apparently just before this deal was done, while the deal was going on, several people before an announcement made a big bet in the oil markets on what what they were going to do, and there was billions of dollars paid out, and Iran saying $9 billion of that went to, again, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff.
Wow.
While they were doing the investigation.
Wow. So they basically
there's no stock market.
Destroy the country, destroy the world.
Right. Don't come up to me and tell me that this man is not manipulating the markets of this country. Not manipulating the stock market. And this is not going to end well for any of us. Okay?
Yeah.
We're already in an extremely bloated market. If anybody doesn't understand what that is, please look it up. We're already in an extremely bloated market. You already now have investors and regular investors and stuff like that backing away from the market.
Wow. As they should.
Right. For the first time, I think since I've had a 401k, I actually lost money on U.S. Treasury bonds.
Whoa. Now, could you explain the significance of that, right? Because a lot of people, that's something beyond what they tend to deal with. But in your world, what's the significance of that?
Well, it's just, it's something that U.S. Treasury bonds for a long, long time have been a very consistent 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5% growth, and growth in your 401k, and you always invest a little bit. It's kind of like putting in the 401k terms. It's like doing the CDK. It's like doing the CD cash. The cash deposit of a in the bond market.
Yeah, and you're saying it's no longer stable.
No, it's no longer stable. I lost 5%. So, these are the, these are the things, These are the things in the stock market manipulation that we're looking at. And with a bloated market, what that means is the market is valued way higher than it actually should be. Okay. And when you're dealing with a bloated market, it's usually an indication of a crash to come, because what you really have happening is billionaires moving money back and forth that's keeping the market alive. You know what I'm saying? And playing games with the money to keep, but you can't keep moving this money back and forth, stealing money from companies, corporations, and the American people, and it survived. There becomes an end.
Wow.
And when the end comes, it's usually a stock market crash. So that's, These are the things that we're looking at, which will affect all of our 401ks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's retirement plans, everything's going on because, we don't live on pensions anymore, people. Most people are 401ks.
Wow.
So these are the, These are the things that are happening in this country right now. And, and for people to say, hey, move the money there, move the money here. Hey, I want to make it real aware of something.
Yeah.
I want to make everybody real aware of something. Most people do not keep up with their 401ks. They don't. They look at it maybe once a year to see where they're at. They don't keep up with them. They don't control it. They try to hire a company to do that for them. We all know how that really works. But these are the things that people need to, start talking about, is the manipulation of the stock market by this president. And the billions and billions of dollars that he's making from it, and his friends. And, I don't know if the story Iran's telling is true.
Which one?
But, the one about the $9 billion. I don't know if the story they're putting out there is true.
Well, that's the question. Do we trust Iran?
Right. Yeah. Do we trust Iran to tell us the truth on that?
Let me ask you this question. Yeah. Do you trust Trump to tell you the truth?
No, absolutely not.
WVAL, that tells us everything.
No, absolutely not. But I will say this, over the course of these negotiations, everything that Iran has said and done, they've done.
They said all hell was going to break loose. They gave us 3 days. I put a video out.
Right.
And you hear about where we're at now, and I'm going, I thought their military and their navy was destroyed.
Yeah, well, I don't know about, I don't know about all that, but what I do know, I do know that, I do know that everything they said they were going to do, everything they said they were going to try to work with, and they've walked away from the table on negotiations every time due to stuff that we have done, due to words that have come out of the president's mouth.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
So you don't buy that? We broke the MOU agreement. You don't buy that? Because that's what they're saying. We had.
The United States definitely broke that agreement. It happened in less than 12 hours from the time that their first agreement was being talked about. Wow. He put it out on paper, and the very first thing on the paper was no rhetoric about what's going. And the president came out and said he was going to do this to Iran, he was going to do that to Iran, he was going to do all these things. Not 12 hours after this came out.
Wow.
Again, manipulation.
Just he's not a trustworthy leader, and he's committing fraud. It sounds like whether it's the stock market, whether it's the crypto, or just anything. And here we are right now, and I see the people in the audience. They actually are saying we trust Iran. Isn't that crazy? Think about the juxtaposition that we're in right now as a country, where we probably have. Do we believe China? Yeah, we believe China. Do we believe Iran? Yeah, we believe Iran. Do we believe the sitting president of the United States? No. Think about how far away. Think about how far out that is right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, W's in the chat for brother Val. Always brings, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. But these are the things we need to address, right? As a country, we need to quit fighting with MAGA that, really just, all they really want to do is come up here and argue and destroy and really push us away from the narrative that we actually need to be talking about. We need to be talking about what it takes to get this administration under control.
Yeah.
Okay. Where they're not hurting the American taxpayers. Let's just not forget the 50% tariff on Canada. What was that all about?
Yeah.
But these are the things we need to actually get under control. This man has truly lost it.
Yeah.
The people behind him, like Tom Homan that y'all just heard from a minute ago.
Yeah.
This man doesn't, there's only one place for me. He deserves a place, and that's prison.
Oh, W Val. I agree. Now there was a question that I wanted to check in with you about, and this is party related. Did you see that viral clip with Tallarico?
I did.
Any thoughts that you want to share with us? Because this is an interesting situation we have, right?
Here's my thoughts on the whole situation. Tallarico did exactly what he needed to do. He answered that question exactly the way he needed to answer it. He put his own side in place as well. You know what I'm saying? As well as making a difference to the other side.
Yeah.
But I want to put people in perspective on this. What Tallarico's really trying to say is there is no sides on this. Look, you can choose to back out of this election because your candidate did not win the primary. You can make that choice. You have every right to make that choice. But I want to also make it real clear. When the person that made that statement said, this will come at a cost to you, to James Tallarico.
Yeah.
I want to make something real clear. James Tallarico is a white man in this country, in the state of Texas. Okay. Liberal or not, he's a white man.
Is Texas a racist state based on what you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out there.
But he's a white man. He's a white man in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
That's actually trying to do some work and do some good. Going after him and saying that you're not going to vote for him, and that is going to be on him. It's not. It's on you. Because if we can't get these people in office, like who he's running against, if we make the decision not to vote because we're just mad over the primary, it's not him you're hurting.
It's yourself.
It's yourself.
W's in the chat. And I wanted to say this as I was sitting there, because there is a racial dynamic to what's happening. I can play the video. I don't know if I can play the video. Maybe we can play the video.
There is, and he answered it. Yeah. I mean, I thought he answered it very well. Yeah, you can play the video. I thought he did a good job.
I'm trying to see if I can get it queued up, because sometimes, let's see, when I do what I do. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, because to me, it's a healthy conversation to have right now. As far as I am concerned, with the electorate. There you go. Oh, wow, look at that. I can do it. Oh, congratulations, W Zeus. So it's a black woman confronting Tallarico, in my opinion, about he's not doing enough to bring in the black community.
Don't get me wrong. It's a question that needs to be asked.
Yeah.
Stay here, you answer our questions, or you suffer the consequences.
Say it with the chest. So I'm happy to engage. We'll come to here in just a second.
Gimme.
I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you traveling in, and I appreciate
I did
you.
it for my people, not for you.
Wonderful, and I think that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful. And it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. This is what this conversation's supposed to be about. Yeah.
All right. There you go. Now
You need the second half of that where he actually answers the question.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. But yeah. I watched that and I said, okay, what's really going on here? I just pulled up a random X video. Hold on. Oh my gosh.
That's definitely not it.
Oh yeah, you can see, it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's see. Here it goes.
And his name is Ken Paxton.
No, that's not it.
That's not it. I'll find it. Wow.
But I can say tonight that we are planning
get what
on
it is. I
spending
gotta go look for it.
$25 million on Black voter
Basically,
outreach in
basically
this
what he
campaign.
said.
And that
I
is
can go ahead and tell
that
you
is
what
the
he said.
largest.
What he said is he explained how him and Jasmine Crockett have worked together for for over a decade, because they were both in the state house together and worked together on many, many, many bills. He talked about how Jasmine Crockett is a great politician and you know what I'm saying, and how the work that she's doing for lower candidates and what she's doing for lower candidates to help them get elected in this state is one of the greatest things he's ever seen. He also told all of supporters that and he says, if you support me and you support me, you also support Jasmine Crockett. Keep her name out of your mouth. That is what he said. She is doing the work that she needs to be doing. That is what he said.
There you go. Hold on. I'm trying to but to your point, let me see.
If you claim to be a part of this movement,
there it is,
that we are building.
Okay. But I found it too raw, too real. We'll watch it together. You know how we do on this show, ladies and gentlemen. Please listen for what I call kernel of truth, if you don't mind. Let's see. Where is that at? Okay, here it goes right there. Okay, we'll move it there. There we go. All right, here we go.
Please keep Congresswoman Crockett's name out of your mouth.
All right. Now, Cracker Keith, did you hear what your white savior said about Congresswoman Crockett?
Oh,
Keep
this
her
is
name
like
out your
He's just giving his opinion, but I can
mouth and bust that pimple off your forehead. The amount of pus in that pimple won't get people to the poll. And for all you other
This ain't the full video then, huh?
No.
Since out here spreading misinformation about.
Okay, well, still W Zeus. I'll have to find
Like I said, I told you what he said. I mean, he talked about how they've worked together, what they're doing, what she's doing right now to support the party and get things moving forward. I mean, he talked about that. These aren't two people that don't talk to each other or don't understand what they need to do. But I will tell you right now, if you use the Jasmine Crockett situation, that's exactly what the Republicans want you to do. It is not Tallarico you are hurting. You are actually hurting yourself, and especially if you live in the state of Texas.
W Val. But you know what? I'll add to this because I'm not in Texas, but I see and I understand what you're saying very, very clearly. I get there is a lot of Black people who tend to feel like, the government doesn't work for them because, and so you'll say, my vote doesn't count. I don't trust them anyway. And we saw what happened, right? Some of them went and turned and they became BLAGA. And you see how that's working out for you. What I see going on in Texas is, yes, Jasmine Crockett, she ran her campaign for whatever the reasons are. She didn't win. And a lot of people think, and actually, that's why I asked you, Val. I said, is there racism still in Texas? And the answer is yeah. You got to be honest. You got to be honest. If there's racism still in the situation you're in, then you can't let it distract you from the goal, right? And I believe in Texas right now. Listen, I need all of the Black folks out there. I understand there's a huge gap between Tallarico and his outreach to the Black community. And he does need to work on that. But this isn't the time to actually have that battle as far as I'm concerned. What you have to do is you have to understand, hey, demon in again. We're not even going to have a conversation anymore. It's not even going to be about conversation. Now we're going to keep hearing stories about Black folks ending up missing all over again and no accountability. This is a step towards accountability. We'll deal with, you got to say to yourself, all right, we'll address the Crockett thing on another day. But the right thing in this moment to do is to pull myself together and say, between these two, this is the better choice. And I'm not saying either one of them are perfect. We're not going to sit there and say that these people are perfect. We're not going to sit there and say that racism is still a factor. But this ain't the time. This ain't the time.
No candidate fits every need.
This ain't the time. That's just me. And I don't like to do, because that's Texas. I don't like to put my foot in there or my hand in other people's states and stuff. But Val, I'm listening to this and I'm going, oh, like what Val is saying. Oh, yeah, they want me to not vote. Oh, they want, because that's what this whole administration wants Black people to do. They don't want Black people to And what better way to make them not vote than to do the gerrymandering, the ICE and stuff like that, and then now the racism. Oh, once they throw the racism in, a lot of black people, oh, we're good. We're not going to do that. We're going to do like this. Well, when you fold your arms, what you end up doing is locking yourself out.
No, I mean you're exactly right. I mean it doesn't help. And make no mistake, Ken Paxton is Donald Trump times 100. He's Donald Trump with a law degree.
Yeah.
Okay? That means harm to the people of not just the state of Texas. He means harm. You're talking about a United States senator seat, a Senate seat. You're moving this man to where he can just do the harm that he's done in Texas and putting him in a national seat.
Don't do it.
If that's how you want to do it and that's what you want to do, feel free.
Yeah.
But that, because we are free, saying we are a state of
I'm going to
freedom.
take it from you. Don't you dare do it. Don't you dare sit it out and go and vote for Ken Paxton. You'll literally draw a red sign in the sand between me and you. It'll be like Red Lady Red all over again with me.
Right.
And here's the other side. I'm going to say it. You have to be able to see the bigger picture at a certain point. All right. And the bigger picture is it's so obvious. And Tallarico, I want to say this. What he needs to do, and this is just my opinion, he needs to have a sit down with Jasmine Crockett, and they need to come to, man, you got to negotiate with her. You got to get her to go out here and do what she does really good too. Now, you just can't sit there and act happen. You also got to step it up a little bit. And I mean, if you need Big Zeus to give you some of the game, some of the pointers, I can do that. But you got to go out there and throw some sauce in the game. All right, that's a W, Zeus. You got to get out here, go out there and shoot some basketball, turn on some of that rap music, have Jasmine Crockett there, and be like, you know what, I was slipping a little. Now I'm getting I'm getting in my rhythm. You got to do this stuff, all right, because that's how you get inside of the culture. W, Zeus, and I just gave him that.
Yeah. Now keep in mind that meeting has happened. Jasmine Crockett has made a choice, and Tyler Rico's actually even for the choice that she's made. This is a national candidate, and this doesn't happen very often, people. Should kind of keep this in mind. Jasmine Crockett has chosen to work with lower state seats. So in other words, state Senate seats, state House seats that are up, you know what I'm saying, that are up for grabs. City council seats, city judges seats, that is what she is putting her effort in right now. And that's going to be a big effort, people. That's a big ask for one person. And she chose to do this. This is what she wants to do. And there's a reason. Jasmine Crockett is doing this because she knows if we can flip these lower seats in this state,
let's go.
Right. She knows if we can flip these seats in the lower seats of this state, we can actually finally take this state back.
Thank you. And then we get Texas back. Then we can get out there and really start doing the real work. All right. But we got to get it back first. Get it back in our clutches.
The Democrats take Texas. The Republican Party, as we know it today, is done.
Thank you. And wow, that's music to my ears. I can live with everything else after that because then it's going to be belt to behind after that. Oh, you voted for Donald Trump? Belt to behind. Move on to the next one. Thank you. Well, Val, we cooked and booked this morning. Yeah. See, we don't just talk about Trump on this show. We can talk about anything. We do it. And we do it very well. And we come up with nice solutions, nice strategies, nice recommendations that we think will help keep the party going forward in the right direction. All right. And it's a difficult situation to be in, but I would encourage my brothers and sisters in Texas to not let what happened with Jasmine Crockett cloud your ability to close out in the fourth quarter. The game is on the line. The finals. We are in the finals right now. All right. We don't got time to cry. We got to win the game. We got to.
That's exactly right.
All right, Brother Val. Well, listen, I appreciate you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. W's Val in the chat.
Bye, everyone.
Later. Wow. You see, I mean, knows things about Texas better than I do. So sometimes I be having questions, and I say I'm going to talk to whoever it is that I think could actually give me some more perspective about it. If you get what I'm saying. Who do we got next? FM. Good morning. How are you doing, FM? Welcome. Are you there, FM? FM. That's the rule. I'm kidding. Let me go ahead. Southpaw, good morning. How are you? Oh, FM. I thought you were. It dropped you or something. Rick covered your tab. FM. Southpaw, we're having issues. I don't know what's going on. Uh-oh. Yeah, we don't have time to attack Tallarico anymore. I get it. Yeah, all that racism stuff, that was for the primaries. Right now, I need folks to lock in. Mamba mentality. All right. You ever seen Kobe Bryant, Jordan play fourth quarter? These are people I look at because they're just competitive and everyone knows. When it is time to win, all that drama got to go. All that personal stuff got to go. We'll talk about that when we're holding the championship trophy. All right. We can get into that and tell the stories behind the scenes about how we came together and pulled off an amazing. But right now, if you don't learn anything from this last election, if they can convince you not to vote, then they have won. And you got to see it right now. They're trying to make a lot of people feel like voting isn't even worth our time. They're trying to make that feeling feel so real that you actually buy into it. No, get your behinds out there and vote. If you're in Texas, you got to vote for Tallarico. W. Zeus. Hey, I didn't create the game. I'm just telling you the answers to the test. All right. All right. I would do it. That's one of those things I'd say I would do it. If I was in Texas, I'd be like, you know what? He got more work to do, but I am not no fool. All right. Just Mona. Good morning. Just Mona. Mona. You didn't crept up in Big Zeus's body. Can't do that. You know what the rules is, Mona. Sharon, good morning. Good morning, Sharon. Are you there? Sharon, wow, we have an interesting, all these people sending guest requests, but they don't want to join. Sharon, going once. Sharon, I can't even hear. Is it me, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, like, what's going on? Nutty, are you there? Are you there, Nutty? Oh, yeah. It must be.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I can hear you now.
So, yeah, I was still on mute. So you were talking.
Oh, we got the camera angle. Okay, but let me see if he's structured correctly this morning. All right. My brother out here doing work. All right.
So you were talking about voting.
Yeah.
As you can see, I just walked in the house from voting.
Hey, my man on point today. Go ahead.
I want to talk to the people here in Missouri. Today is the first day of early voting without excuse. So there is no excuse. If you want to get out there and vote, go vote today. You don't need an excuse. You just take your ID in there and you go vote. You go vote, you make your voice heard. So I agree with you, Zeus. I don't like getting into the politics of other states.
Yeah.
I have my own opinions when it comes to James Tallarico.
Yep, me too.
Jasmine Crockett.
Yep.
I have my own opinions. But you are absolutely correct when you say now is not the time. Now is not the time. The time for that is once James wins the Senate seat, and then the people of Texas can hold him accountable.
Bingo.
To do more work.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Thank you.
But now is not the time. Because like you, Zeus, I agree with you. I will take James Tallarico all day long over Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
Val mentioned a great point. The difference between Paxton and Trump is that Paxton has a law degree. Paxton actually knows the law. Now, whether or not he follows the law,
bingo,
that's another thing. But he actually knows the law, whereas Donald Trump kind of sort of knows the law from what he's being told.
Yeah.
Just doesn't give a damn either way, right? So Ken Paxton is absolutely more dangerous than Donald Trump could ever even dream of being. So we need to get James Tallarico in that to represent Texas. And listen, people in Texas, y'all need to turn that state blue.
Please.
Y'all are this close from turning that state blue.
Right.
Y'all got to turn that state blue, just like the people here in Missouri.
Yep.
Oh, see, I got to stop doing it. In Missouri.
But that's the thing, Nutty. It's because I listened to the video. I wish I had the full version. And I could see the black people are frustrated. I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? But I said to myself, so what would I do if I was that frustrated? Big Zeus, I'd say I probably wouldn't vote. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd be like, I don't trust either side. And then I thought to myself, would that be the best decision for black people in Texas? What are your thoughts on that?
And that's what continuously harms our community.
Mm-hmm.
It's that thinking, it's that mindset. It's that mindset that we didn't get our way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, all of us, we have questions. We have questions about how votes were not taken away, but how votes were blocked in Dallas County, right?
Mm-hmm.
That could have voted for Jasmine Crockett. We have questions, but that is not on James Tallarico. That is not on James Tallarico.
Tell him, Lil Hawk. Yeah.
So at this point, the people of Texas need to go ahead and put someone in that seat that is not going to be dangerous to the people in the state of Texas. Yeah. And I 100% with confidence, even without knowing this man, can say that that person is James Tallarico.
Amen. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, because part of it is he somebody that can actually, you can give him more and he'll learn it and become a better leader? Or is he somebody?
I believe that.
Yeah, that's what I looked at. Yeah, he's capable of being able to leverage whatever he needs to learn in order to represent the people of Texas a lot better than Paxton.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I absolutely agree with that. Before James Tallarico was even decided to run for the Senate, I was watching his videos because I enjoy listening to him speak.
Yep.
I enjoy listening to him speak, right? And so, yes, I do believe that he's the type of candidate that can learn from mistakes, that can learn from others, and he has the ear and the mindset to want to be open to learning.
Facts.
He's not one of those candidates where he's got to be right on everything.
Exactly.
He doesn't strike me as that type of person. So, yes, absolutely. To the black people in Texas, get out and vote for this man.
Thank you.
Get out and vote for this man. We cannot continue asking for change when we sit at home and have the opportunity just because we don't have the candidate that we want on the ballot.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we need to take ourselves out of the game.
Thank you. W's in the chat for Nutty. Preach. Preach.
So we just got done with the World Cup, Zeus.
Yeah.
We just got done with the World Cup. We know that Spain and Argentina was in the finals.
Yeah.
Were those the two teams that I wanted to see in the finals? Listen, from my non-soccer following self, those still weren't the teams that I wanted to see in the finals. Right. So what am I going to do? Am I going to just say, oh, all of soccer sucks just because the team that I wanted to see in the finals for the World Cup wasn't there?
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Absolutely not. So we can break it down, bring it to something that we actually care about, American football.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm a Detroit Lions fan. No secret about that. I am a Detroit Lions fan.
Who said that?
Listen, you can boo till the cows come home. I'm all about my Lions. But here's the deal. When was the last time the Detroit Lions made it to the Super Bowl? They've never made it to the modern day Super Bowl. So is that going to stop me from rooting for the Detroit Lions? Absolutely not. Make this make sense. Right. If we can still root for our teams that don't make it to the Super Bowl, you need to root for your team when it comes to democracy.
Hey, I like how you went that route and came back with it, man. You getting good with this. You
I mean, but you got to think about that though.
Yeah.
We are in a dire strait in this country right now where, yes, there are plenty of things to criticize the Democratic Party for.
Absolutely.
Plenty of things, right?
Absolutely.
But the Democratic Party is the only functioning party in this country that's trying to care about every single person, including the MAGA.
Amen. Get them, Nutty.
So y'all got to get out there, take your heads out of your butts. I'm not going to hold your hand and be nice and kumbaya.
Nope.
I'm going to give you a dose of real hard love. This is the hard truth. If you want something to change, you get out there and you vote.
Amen.
We had too many people die. Too many of our ancestors died for us to have the right to vote, to sit our butts, our behinds at home and not vote.
Amen.
The devil is a lie.
Amen. Amen. W's in the chat for Nutty. And don't you dare go and vote for the Republicans because you're so upset with the Democrats like we see a lot of blagger doing. Unacceptable.
It is unacceptable because what you're doing now, you're saying, since I can't have my way, I'm going to pout and I'm going to continue this trajectory of putting the enemy in office.
Zeus Trya, thank you. Yeah, tell him, Nutty.
Continue putting the enemy in office. The Republican Party has shown every single one of us that they are not friends to black people. They're not friends to other people of color. They're not friends to women. They're not even friends to you white women.
Ooh, W's in the chat. Nutty in his bag this morning. Woo! Phony Macaroni Tony, you getting cooked and you didn't even know it, but you're a disgrace to this country. Go ahead, give Nutty a huge round of applause.
The Republican Party is only here for white, wealthy men. Boom. And they only care about your nasty behinds is when it's election time.
Amen.
That's when they want to talk to you. That's when they want to bring you to the table, the so-called table. There's no table.
Amen. Amen.
When it's time to get your vote, that's when they want to say, hey, you're my friend. Vote for me because I'm better than that other person over there. You see that person that's not envelopian?
Ooh.
I'm better than that person. We're better than those people. You should vote for us. That's the only thing the Republican Party is good for. And I'm sick of black folks getting up here in these streets, right here in the kingdom, that will get up here and have the audacity, the unmitigated gall to ask you, Zeus, what has the Democratic Party done for you? The devil is a lie.
Oh, W's in the chat for Nutty.
So, if you're in the state of Missouri, today is the first day of early voting.
Hold on. We got Macaroni Tony. He said he wanted to say something to you, Nutty. You got time to destroy this, brother?
Hold on. Let me just say this for a minute. Nutty, you a stone.
Yeah, I muted him because it wasn't sounding like a compliment.
No. Please allow it. Please allow it.
Okay. Nutty's at your request. Go ahead, Macaroni Phony Tony.
Okay, Nutty. You spreading that bad information and that propaganda you and Zeus over here throwing out. Listen, we are woke, brother. That stuff you doing, you should have did that in 1965 when Martin Luther King was marching. That shit ain't working today, my brother. We woke.
Macaroni.
What did Obama do for you? Nothing. Why didn't you ask him for money, power, and respect?
Okay, I had to put him on mute.
Macaroni.
Let
Did you see how I respectfully asked Zeus to allow you to finish saying what you wanted to say? So this is going to be a conversation, or it's not going to be anything at all. Do we have a deal? Because what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to argue.
Yes, sir.
I would love to.
I'm sorry. Okay, Nutty, I'm sorry. But listen, the Democratic Party is fooling you. Stop. They switched them. And then where in the Constitution have there ever been a Democratic and a Republican Party?
Hey, Macaroni, you're doing it again, right? So Nutty was in the middle of actually explaining something to you, and you went off on a tangent. You went off on a tangent.
He's been rambling. He all over the place.
Huh. So Macaroni, how old are you, sir?
I'm 60.
You're 60 years old. I'm 52 years old, so I'm not that much younger than yourself. Well, yes, I am. But anyway, Macaroni, you're 60 years old. You are good and old to know the difference between what the Democratic Party has done for you and what the Republican Party hasn't done for you. So being 60 years old, my guy, You grew up in the 1970s.
Yes.
You are a child of the 70s.
Yes.
You saw a lot of things that none of us saw. We just read in history books. You tell me, what has the Republican Party ever done for you?
Well, the Republican Party,
one thing.
They freed my ancestors.
So you know what? Here, see, this is why education is elevation. Because brother, you need to go back to school. Because if you know anything about history of these United States of America, you know, especially starting in the 1940s all the way through the 1960s, we had the Dixiecrats, we had the party switch. So you can say they freed my ancestors, but they were the modern day Democrats.
Boom, W's in the chat for Nutty.
Hey, Nutty. Now,
No.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna listen to you.
I need
I'm
you
gonna
to
listen to you.
reply
Go
to
ahead.
what I just said.
I'm gonna let you vent. Go ahead.
No, I need you to reply to what I just said, my guy.
Listen.
Macaroni Tony.
listen.
Can I say this
Reply.
too? You
okay?
Nutty
Back
asked
in them
Macaroni. He asked
okay,
you
go ahead.
what have the Republicans done for you, and just to make sure you and I are on the same page, you're 60 years old, and you couldn't think of anything in that 60-year window of your life to say that
Right.
they've done for you. You went back to
and the
slavery.
same as the Democrats did nothing for me.
Oh, okay. So
I
then
can
the
make
answer
several
to your
things the
the
Democratic
answer
Party
to Nutty's question should have been nothing.
Neither party has done nothing to
We
me.
didn't
I go
ask you
with
about the
Constitution.
Democrats, and we could give you evidence that the Democrat Party is doing
Democrats, Republicans,
Okay.
put them together. They're one party. They're not separate entities. They're the same. They work for you.
So Macaroni, can I give you?
So I
Can
don't.
give
I'm
you-
independent.
No, you're
Okay,
not.
but so let me say what it is. You don't have any evidence to support.
And I
your-
don't have none that the Democrats did a damn thing.
Okay, and that's a lie.
I can get.
What did they do?
Okay, let Nutty
Y'all
listen.
had a black
I'm gonna-
president. What did
gonna
he
let
do for
Nutty-
you?
What have the Democrats done to help folks like Macaroni Tony?
So here's the deal, Zeus. Because when we elect a president of the United States, no matter what race he or she is, and I'm saying she because we do need a woman as president. But no matter what race they are, they need to represent every single demographic of these United States of America. So when we're talking about Barack Hussein Obama, I don't expect Barack Hussein Obama to do anything specifically for just the black community.
He did it for the Asians.
Hey,
he got the Asian bill.
Time out. Let me speak.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes,
he
sir.
is the president of all of us in the United States of America. And
No,
what
he-
Barack Hussein Obama did for all
Listen
of
to
us,
him.
he made healthcare accessible to millions of Americans who never had healthcare.
Okay. So
Was
Tony,
you fighting for healthcare?
Tony,
Absolutely.
You were. Your job offered
Absolutely.
you health
And I'm
care.
still fighting for healthcare because
Well, go on
it
and- you
is
should-
a right.
I gotta mute him.
It is a right, not a
listening.
privilege.
You should have joined the military. You would have got free health care.
Then it ain't free. If I gotta put my life on the line for it, it
Well,
ain't
put
free.
it on the line.
No, so phony Tony, let's just focus on the healthcare thing. That's a very important thing. You know what? There's no money in the earth that can replace your health. Do you understand that, Tony? You can have millions of dollars, but if you can't wipe your behind, what good is it? Right?
Can I speak?
What would you rather have, phony Tony, lonely homie? $1 million or the ability to wipe your own behind? Let's just get it out there, because it depending on how you answer this question.
I'm gonna take my health. My health is
okay. Thank you. Finally, you got the answer right. Look at
So
that.
listen.
So no, listen to me and listen to what Nutty is saying. Why not fight for you to be able to do that? Which is what the Democrats
Why
have
would
been
I have
doing.
to fight and the government takes care of me as if I need medical attention? I fought for my country because I love my country.
Okay.
You don't love your country.
Okay.
You need to, y'all niggas need to go back.
See, all you have to do is let him speak. He's gonna crash out.
What a disappointment. See, he begged Nutty. Oh, W's in the chat. He used the N-word, and he didn't use it like Tupac used it. He used it in a disparaging way. You don't get to call us that on TikTok. We don't know you with your baby mamas and your bad credit score and all that stuff you got going on, being slimy out here. You don't know Zeus and Nutty like that to be talking to us like that on TikTok.
Zeus, can I say this before I'm landing this plane right here?
Woo!
It is really sad. It is really hurtful to see our elders like that be a plumb fool. He is nothing but a fool. At least when we're talking about Dame,
he said he's worse than Dame.
At least, yeah, he is worse than Dame, and I'll tell you why.
Y'all cold in that chat.
Because Dame is still young enough to get it right.
Yeah, true.
Dame is still young enough to get. Now this fool can get it right, but in his old age, he's still out there saying, "What has the Democrats done for you? They freed my ancestors." How is that for you? Because like you said, you want to go back 100 years. Because I guarantee you that same fool don't even celebrate Juneteenth. But yet he want to talk about the Republican Party freeing his ancestors. And furthermore, Macaroni, Abraham Lincoln did not sign the Emancipation Proclamation because he thought slavery was wrong. He didn't think that it was a moral flaw.
Yeah.
He only did it because he was trying to get back at the southern states, my guy.
Amen. Amen. Go ahead, get
just
nutty.
because we benefited because he was using it as a weapon. With that being said, Zeus, I'm gonna get out of here, man, because I gotta get back out here and door knocking.
Hey, keep rocking that. Keep rocking and doing what you're doing. And thank you for coming up and cooking macaroni, phony Tony, lonely homie, bro. I appreciate it. Get nutty, a huge round of applause. I didn't know we went a little over, but we did. You all deserve a huge round of applause. We survived another show. We had a demon encounter. Macaroni, phony Tony, lonely homie. Yeah, I listened to him and I said, this is a 60-something-year-old brother and he ain't nothing but a plumb dumb fool running around eating sea. You know, he's probably on that CMOS routine, listening to Dr. Oz. You know what these folks do. These brothers get radicalized on some of the craziest stuff, and he thinks he has life figured out. This is this is one of the craziest things that in America you can only find a brother that's really on his knuckles. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a wolf with a wounded jaw trying to eat. That's how you could just tell he really struggled. Acting like he has it all figured out. That right there, I don't know. What's worse? Macaroni, phony Tony, lonely homie, or red lady red? Think about it. Can somebody answer the question? Only in America can you find such characters. Which one's worse, ladies and gentlemen? What's up, Dr. Lex? Nice to see you. No, seriously. Who's worse? We need to do a poll. Phony Tony, lonely homie? Yeah. These folks will literally go and vote for Donald Trump. They'll go vote for both of them. Whatever logic, you see how their brains work. Ching, ching, chung, pung, pung, because that's how their brains work when it's firing. What is the output? Vote for Donald Trump. And I'm sitting there going, wow, you don't really care about yourselves. Ladies, if you know this man, Macaroni, phony Tony, lonely homie, avoid him like the plague. He's a danger to himself. He's a danger to his family. He's a danger to his community. He's a danger to his country. The man is not wrapped too tight. W. Zeus, run for the hills, please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Big Zeus has to get up out of here. What a show. I want to give each and every single one of you a huge round of applause. Thank you for tuning in today to one of the most entertaining, engaging, and educational shows on TikTok. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Olympus. I hope you enjoyed the flight, and it is now time to depart this aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now landed and arrived at our final destination. On behalf of 3 Crossing Zeus, also known as Triple H, and the entire crew, I would like to thank you for flying with us today. We extend our sincere gratitude to all the viewers who tuned in and listened throughout the show. Your time, attention, and participation made this episode truly meaningful.
True.
We are deeply appreciative of your continued support. A special thank you goes to our valued subscribers, generous gifters, dedicated moderators, and esteemed panelists. Your contributions, guidance, and active involvement are essential to the success of the Kingdom and allow us to deliver the highest quality experience for everyone. As you prepare to depart, please remember that full recordings of today's episode will be uploaded to our YouTube channel shortly. For information on all my social media handles and
flight.
future broadcasts,
Thank you.
please visit the link in the bio. Thank you once again for choosing to be a part of the kingdom. We are honored that you allowed Zeus, also known as Triple H, to guide you to Olympus. Until our next journey, we wish you a safe and productive day ahead. You may now gather your belongings and exit the aircraft. We look forward to welcoming you back on board soon.
Have a great rest of your morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. Let's go. Wow. Good era. Thank you. Wow. Thank you all. Let's go.
Came from the trenches, now we ballin'.
Like that, Marissa?
Wisdom, energy, presidential, watch the ops. Drip too saucy, got the fit.
Hitting real different. Hey, on the throne, out here looking brilliant. No skibidi, Zena. Woo, Marissa, JC. Got the game in a choke. Eating the doubt, now my legacy's hitting, it's bespoke. From the Bay to DC, I keep them on their toes. Zustraya. Thank you, JC. RCFM. I saw you. You're in the box and then I didn't get to hear from you. Zustraya. Wow. JC. W. Rick. Let's go. Let's go. Got my foot on the gas, I'm bulletproof, yeah, my aura is built to last. Slap with the plan, moving chess, not checkers. Presidential flex, got my game on my necklace. Cutie, cutie.
Drip too clean, get it poppin', we ain't gon' never stop, no cap, we live.
Yeah, floor on 1,000, 100, 1,605, presidential, we found it, posted in the Capitol, moving like I own the block. Risk game, presidential, got the nation unlocked. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, where I come up with lines like this at. Shining brighter than a star. Slap with the moves, turn your dreams into chandeliers. Ops stay lurking, but they always holding under pressure. 1,600, I'm the one flexing, I'm the new successor. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. DC is the town, woke up in the mansion, views from the east wing, prime presidential, residential, got the poles in a climb, no cap, I'm the vibe, turn the calm in the storm, got the world dropping bombs like I'm reading out of Psalms. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Let's go. Legacy and Jacob, hey, got the city in the grip, hey, make the whole world flip. Bust it off the chart, got the game in a trance. Drip too wavy, yeah, make you wanna dance. Can you imagine? I take this, do this on the road, we get the club so lit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. Thank you all. I'll see you tomorrow.